What's up, your boy Phone of the Reaction? In today's video, we have why Barcelona signed Anthony Gordon by Paid Talks Football. 80 million for Anthony Gordon. They saying they only signed this nigga because he a press demon. Like these niggas, Barcelona get money and don't know what the fuck to do with it. They start doing any damn thing. This nigga about to be another Griezmann and Dembele signing when they was at Barcelona. Them niggas was trash at Barcelona. About to be another Dembele and Griezmann. Niggas get money and don't know what the fuck to do. And just like that, 80 million. Like, gang, y'all need Barcelona. Y'all know y'all need defenders, right? And these niggas just offered Atletico Madrid 100 million for Julian Alvarez, and they declined it. Y'all know y'all need defense, right? Y'all not gonna spend that money on a fucking center back. Y'all defense is horrible.
Barca. Wow.
Y'all niggas let Inter Milan drop beat y'all. Like how many goals Inter Milan scored on Barca? Like 4, and PSG dunked 5 on them niggas. Beat them niggas 5-0 and won the Champions League final. Embarrassed them.
Jacob Murphy sent it across, and they're on the board. At the corner of the area.
This is highlights.
Hit it inside. It's going to hit it this time.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
This move went from rumors to an official signing within like hours. Gordon had been linked with
Like, gang, nowadays your ass put up 6 goals or put up 10 goals, your ass might get signed to Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. Like, what the fuck? Your ass had to work to make it to Barcelona back in the days. Your ass had to work to get to Real Madrid. I'm starting to sound like Lee Gunner.
Bayern for the past.
A lot of these players today couldn't play in the 90s, mate. The 2000s, mate.
Few months, then Barca just swooped in. I swear, Barca with money is like when you give your little cousin your credit card on Fortnite. These guys genuinely recruit better when they're not allowed to spend their money. So why exactly were they so desperate to get Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter? Why did Barca want to get this deal done so quickly for Olmo's English twin? You rarely see Barca sign English players, let alone sign an English guy who's not even from one of the traditional Big Six clubs or an English prospect that was super hyped.
I really like his enthusiasm and his infectious energy that he possesses. Yeah, his potential, I think, is very high. So,
well, according to multiple reports, this was a signing that Flick really wanted. Since arriving at Barca, Flick has slowly moved the club away from the slower, patient positional dominance traditionally associated with Barca.
Like these niggas think these niggas gonna be like PSG, getting pressing attackers and shit.
Tiki-taka. The modern Barca is far more vertical. They're more aggressive. They're way more intense physically.
But you are conscious of like in and out of possession, in your responsibilities.
Yeah, because I want that challenge. I want that mental battle with the fullback to think when he comes off the pitch. I want him to think, how hard does he need to play today? So he's not looking forward to playing me again. And I genuinely want that challenge, no matter how good the fullback is. So
the coaching staff views Gordon as the ideal tactical counterpart to Rafinha.
I mean, I watched you at St James's against Paris Saint-Germain, one of the best nights this club's had for years. And you was one of the big reasons in terms of the press starting the game. One of the first presses was you. This is it here. And I was thinking, wow, just someone who knows the nature of the football club and the fan base, you've really kind of bought into that.
Flick's system heavily prioritizes off-the-ball work rate, and having another winger who can replicate Rafinha's counter-pressing intensity is seen as vital for the team's structural balance.
And then if you look here now, the next bit is just as important to me because I'm going back the other way. And I'm letting them know you're not going to beat me that way as well.
This relentless engine has always been one of Gordon's biggest strengths.
So this has to be, for me, this is knowing what you're good at. I think everyone wants to be like a good player with the ball, but this for me has to be my...
So this all he do? Press. So y'all niggas got a defender? This y'all defender? Well, yeah, shit, y'all got a defender. I was talking about Barca need a defender. Shit, y'all got this what y'all want, a presser.
sort of foundation because that's what I'm good at, and athletically, gifted in certain areas. So if I didn't use that, it'd be a waste.
During the 2021-2022 Premier League season, Gordon averaged 7.8 defensive duels per 90, one of the highest figures among wide players in the entire league. Even more impressively, he won nearly 57% of those duels, despite playing in a struggling Everton side that was defending for their lives. In the past season, Gordon averaged 1.14 recoveries in the final third per 90. Just to put it into context for you guys, the standard Premier League winger averages roughly 0.60, so Gordon effectively doubles the league's baseline. Then when you look at his gradient stats for pressure, it's very high. The length of the ball represents his percentile rank among other players in his position in the Premier League. So he was one of the best players in the entire league at closing people down. These numbers matter enormously in Hansi Flick's system. Barca also desperately needed another wide attacker in general for squad balance. In the 2025-2026 season, Rashford was Barcelona's backup winger option, but internally, there were still major doubts about committing long-term financially to Rashford. Despite his fantastic numbers, there were concerns about him, especially due to his inconsistency, wages,
Yeah, he inconsistent.
and questions about whether he fully fits the physical demands of Hansi Flick's system. Even with
And he kind of lazy at pressing.
Rashford, Barca believed that they lacked depth and flexibility out wide. And that's where Anthony Gordon became a very highly sought after asset. According to The Athletic, senior figures inside the club view him as a much cleaner stylistic fit for the modern direction of the team. Barca is specifically looking for a versatile forward who can comfortably operate on both wings, rotate across multiple attacking positions, and maintain the intensity of the system without the overall level dropping dramatically when the starters are rested. Well, Gordon checks almost every single box. Flick's system relies heavily on athletic forwards who are willing to get forward, make selfless runs to stretch the defense, allowing the stars to operate in the space that was created.
Honestly, that's my ideal situation. We get a counter attack, and that's when I can really set off, open my legs, and like you said, I'm sort of mentally defeating him because he's thinking I can't catch him.
So from Barcelona's perspective, they have found a player capable of sustaining the physical identity of football while also helping unlock the full attacking potential of a player like Yamal around him. From what I've researched, internally, Barca believe that another runner, especially on the other side of the pitch, would allow them to get the best use out of Yamal. Because if you have somebody on the left-hand side who's a real outlet and can provide a threat going forward and get goals, get assists, make runs in behind, well, that makes life a lot easier on Yamal, who has to dribble out of an orgy every single time on that right-hand side. Gordon's movement can indirectly make Barcelona's biggest star even more dangerous. Because you see, at Newcastle, Gordon developed into one of the Premier League's most relentless transition wingers. If you look at his key grades from Gradient, you will see that he ranked very highly in dribbling, ball carrying, and shooting. In fact, he had the 5th highest dribbling grade in the entire Premier League. He also ranked very highly in chances created, crosses into dangerous areas, and passes into dangerous positions. So he's not just a running merchant, he's able to create opportunities as well. Beyond the relentless pressing, the work rate, and the dribbling, Anthony Gordon brings something else that is also very valuable to Barcelona, and that's tactical flexibility. Initially, Barca's long-term plan was to invest heavily in a marquee central striker to succeed Robert Lewandowski. Internally, names like Julian Alvarez and João Pedro were viewed as ideal targets because of their mobility, pressing intensity, and of course their...
Pedro, Julian Alvarez good. Pedro, another nigga I feel like overrated. Well, I don't know. I'm just, I never really, I don't watch Chelsea games like that, but so I don't really know. But I feel like bro kind of a little overrated.
age. But those deals quickly became financially unrealistic. This is reportedly when Deco pivoted to Anthony Gordon as a strategic solution. Because that man is not limited to one role. He can naturally operate from the left wing, but he can also play on the right, or even play centrally as a false 9 in a more fluid attacking system. He played a ton on the left and up top for Newcastle in all competitions in the 2025-2026 season. That versatility is so important for Hansi Flick because it allows Barcelona to solve several structural issues simultaneously without needing multiple expensive signings. Instead of buying a backup winger, another transition runner, and a rotational striker, Barca are essentially getting 3-1 with Anthony Gordon. Gordon's performances in the Champions League reportedly changed how many executives inside the club viewed him. Scoring 10 goals in 12 appearances, Gordon suddenly proved that he was not just an energetic oi bruv Premier League winger. He could genuinely deliver on Europe's biggest stage. Though I will get to why this stat is actually quite misleading later in the video. The obvious
That nigga was probably playing farmers teams in the Champions League group stages.
standout moment was him scoring 4 goals against Karabag in the knockout playoffs.
Like, hey, what? Catabag? Like,
Run placed him in rare historical company, making him only the second English player after Harry Kane to score double-digit goals in a single Champions League campaign. And for people like Joan Laporta and Deco, who have been itching to bring a Champions League back to Barca, well, I guess those performances mattered to them a lot. Because again, according to many reports, internally, Barca believed that Gordon had shown the mentality, intensity, and personality required to survive at the highest level. So if you're a skeptic, you can make the argument that he might have just found his level against Karabakh. Now, while Hansi Flick and the Barcelona board are convinced that Anthony Gordon is their guy, there's naturally a lot of skepticism around this transfer, especially when you look at the fee. At his absolute best, he looks tailor-made for modern elite football. But how often is this guy actually at his best? Statistically, the Champions League campaign was really good. I mean, scoring 10 goals in Europe immediately elevates your reputation, and it created the perception that he was finally evolving into a genuinely elite-level winger capable of deciding massive matches on his own. But the context behind the stats tells a different story. First of all, 40% of this guy's UCL goals came in one match against Karabakh. So a bit of a stat pad session. The other thing is that while he's had some really good performances, you don't see them that often. In the Premier League, Gordon had just 6 league goals. 6. And it's not like he didn't have chances. His expected goal number was 8.83. Now, from what I've researched, it seems that many Newcastle fans felt his confidence had declined early in the season after a red card against Liverpool in August. Internally, some coaches reportedly felt that suspension affected the edge and aggression that normally define his game. Instead of constantly attacking defenders fearlessly, Gordon sometimes looked hesitant and emotionally frustrated. And unfortunately for him, suspensions became an issue, because that's also the reason that he missed Newcastle's huge Carabao Cup victory over Liverpool at Wembley, a moment that could have massively boosted his momentum and confidence. The thing is, nobody doubts this guy's work rate or athleticism. Just watching one comp of him will confirm to you that he works very hard and is very athletic. The problem is spending that much money for a player who doesn't have elite level output. His numbers over the past few seasons do not justify an 80 million euros evaluation, even in today's inflated market. Like, you're telling me Abdi couldn't press and run in behind for like 1/3 of Anthony Gordon's price? Across the last 2 Premier League seasons, Gordon has scored only 12 league goals, with nearly half of them coming from pens. Even more concerning is his open play production. He has gone on extremely long stretches without scoring a non-penalty Premier League goal. In many ways, Gordon has become the perfect symbol for the
this nigga like soccer.
divide that happens in football recruitment. Do you pay for proven goals and assists, or do you pay for tactical fit and an impact that goes beyond the stat sheet? Then there's the concern about whether Gordon has the skill set that can translate naturally to La Liga football.
The way they keep the ball was a learning experience. We don't play against that kind of style in England. Not at that level anyway. I thought they were the best I played against in that sense of the game. And we played against the top teams like City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Stoke, Arsenal. But the way they passed the ball, the midfield, is the way they were fluid in the movement and combining, made it really hard for us to press.
Because stylistically, Spain presents a very different challenge than what you're used to in the Premier League. Throughout his career, Gordon's biggest strength has been his explosive straight line speed and aggressively getting forward. He is the most dangerous when attacking open space in transition and overwhelming teams physically. That environment exists regularly in the Premier League.
In La Liga is defense.
Many matches are open, there's a lot of opportunities for transition, which perfectly fit Anthony Gordon's athletic profile, especially since he played for Newcastle, who's not a possession-heavy team. But that all changes when you come to Spain to play in La Liga, and specifically when you're playing for Barcelona. Most mid-table and lower-level La Liga teams defend incredibly deep against Barca. I mean, even Real Madrid defend deeply against Barca. They sit in compact low blocks with their manager Waterboy, and Mascot all behind the ball, crowding central spaces and denying attackers any room to run behind the defensive line. And this is where many people think problems could emerge, because when you're playing against the likes of Elche and Getafe, you have to be very creative in tight spaces. You have to be super effective against organized low blocks. Now, I'm not saying Anthony Gordon can't do that. I'm just saying it's not one of his strengths. Gordon is a good dribbler, but he's not an elite isolation dribbler. He's not somebody who can consistently dismantle defenders one-on-one without space. I've also seen Newcastle supporters talking about the fact that over time, defenders get comfortable with how Anthony Gordon dribbles. He relies heavily on the same reoccurring attacking patterns. So once teams adjust physically and positionally, his effectiveness tends to drop during the second half of the season. Another major
He look like a good passer. He does some good passes.
Concern is whether Anthony Gordon's personality and decision-making actually fit in within the cultural demands of Barcelona. There's growing concern about how naturally he combines with his teammates in a possession-heavy system, because at Newcastle, many supporters became increasingly frustrated with Gordon's link-up play on the left-hand side. Like, there were so many moments where Lewis Hall would make an intelligent overlapping run into open space, only for Gordon to completely ignore him. He would hold on to the ball too long and then dribble directly into a crowded defensive area. His tendency to get tunnel vision has been a reoccurring criticism around his game. Instead of quickly recycling possession or combining in tight spaces, Gordon often tried to force individual actions. That sort of aggressive mentality can create dangerous moments in transition-heavy football, but it could very easily disrupt the rhythm of...
Yeah, so the way you breaking it down, this nigga might be trash, and in La Liga, this nigga might be a flop. He gonna have to adapt. His first season, he might be bad. The first season.
Barcelona's positional structure. Barca's attacking system relies heavily on quick...
That's Barca. If Newcastle fans on your ass, what the fuck you think Barcelona fans gonna do? Like
1-2s, third man runs. There is a fear that Anthony Gordon's very individual driven mindset and the fact that he gets tunnel vision will disrupt these kind of intuitive plays.
I think playing the game as you get older, every year it feels like you're maturing, and for me I'm getting a bit more composure in front of goal in certain areas, and I think I've made enough mistakes around the final third to learn what not to do now. So yeah, but it's something that I'm working on day to day. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, so I've still got a lot to do.
And then there's the temperament issue. Throughout his career, he has developed a reputation for emotional outbursts. He wears his emotion on a sleeve so you can easily see when he's frustrated on the pitch. And there's been occasional lapses in his professionalism when situations do not go his way. There have been incidents involving missed training sessions, public frustration towards the manager, and unnecessary yellow or red cards because of off-the-ball reactions. Many of those concerns actually came up when Newcastle played Barcelona in the Champions League. After reportedly feeling unwell earlier in the day, Gordon was left on the bench by Eddie Howe, but when he eventually entered the match late, many Newcastle supporters felt he looked emotionally disconnected from the game entirely. He failed to track runners defensively, looked passive without the ball, and
well, this Newcastle, he ain't gonna do this for Barcelona, because he know if he do this for Barcelona, it's over and they're gonna get sold. It's Newcastle. Nobody taking Newcastle serious. Of course, he's lazy when it comes to Newcastle. Newcastle ain't no top 5 Premier League club. Like, it's Newcastle, bro. That's why the nigga lazy, like.
Contributed to Newcastle conceding a soft goal. Many supporters accused him of sulking and prioritizing his own needs instead of worrying about the team as a whole. And that becomes especially important when discussing Barcelona, because few environments in world football are more emotionally demanding than the Catalan media ecosystem. At Barca, every bad performance becomes a headline. What should worry Barca fans is if Gordon's temperaments become worse, if results turn negative, or if his role and individual performances becomes more inconsistent. For Barcelona supporters, the fear of big money transfers goes beyond football abilities. It's actually more down to the PTSD they get from previous big signings. Paying over 80 million euros for a Premier League attacker who is not universally viewed as a guaranteed world-class superstar immediately triggers uncomfortable memories for the fan base. Like, Coutinho was a much better player than Anthony Gordon, and we all saw how that turned out. The fear is made worse by the fact that Barcelona are still recovering economically. There's a worry that if Anthony Gordon struggles to adapt to Spanish football, the club could end up trapped with a very mid player with huge wages, and yet another obstacle for future transfer flexibility. From the outside, it absolutely looks like a risky gamble. But as I always say in these videos, only time will tell if this is a good signing. If Barca continue to win silverware, no one's going to care about the transfer fee that was paid. On top of that, Hansi Flick now has a history of making players better. He rejuvenated Marcus Rashford. He rebuilt the confidence of Ferran Torres. He transformed the entire emotional atmosphere surrounding Barcelona far quicker than almost anybody expected. Flick can make anybody look elite, even me. The reality is that this Barcelona project already feels ahead of schedule because of the German man. If you really want to understand how dramatically Flick has transformed this club,
Yeah, make sure to come subscribe and the deuces. We gonna see how this turn out. y'all better hope this nigga good or y'all in a fucking financial hole. Oh, 6 out, nigga.